What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there crushing it on the tables. Today we are going to take a look at the Friday night Playpen. There are 5 of these events every Friday. I have never played one of these before, so this is going to be a new experience. The way that this works is everyone starts out with 1,000 chips. Buy-in is $10.50. Each chip represents 1 penny, and there are 4 blind levels, increasing every 13 minutes. Whatever you have left in your stack at the end of the 4 levels is what you leave it with. It's an interesting format, and I think this will be fun, and we get pocket kings. On the very first hand, under the gun, open raise to 3x. This is the smaller version of the cage, which America's Cardroom also does. The cage is, I believe, a $1,000 buy-in. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. So this is the smaller version. The more fun version, you can see the clock on the top represents the minutes remaining in the tournament. And we get a call from the big blind, and we see a flop of ace high two-tone. There is a king on the board, which means that we have middle set. The big blind checks back. Looks like I'm thinking about a bet, but decide on just a check on the flop. And our opponent checks back on the turn. This time, I am not going to check. I'm going to put in a bet of 41, and we get a fold from the big blind and take down the first pot of the tournament. Skipping ahead a couple hands, we have Jack 10 of spades. Open raise to 2.5x, and we get a call from the big blind. Flop is ace high, two-tone, 2 hearts. We have a gut shot straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. I put in a bet of a little bit larger than half pot, and we take down that one on the flop. Next hand, we have king 4 offsuit, just going to be folding under the gun. I like this format for the tournament. It's kind of a cross between a cash game and a tournament. It's an interesting thing that they do. I think they should do more of them. Maybe schedule 1 or 2 every day. And if you don't have a lot of time, this is a good way to do a tournament that goes really quick. It only lasts a maximum of, I think it was 52 minutes. So that works out with players with tight schedules. Now we have king jack offsuit. We get an open raise from the button, and the small blind comes along. Chip stacks are very, very deep, and we're getting good odds here to make the call. So I just make a call, see a flop. Flop is ace high two-tone. There's 2 spades on the board. We hit middle pair. We check it back, and the button puts in a bet of 64, and I decide to make a call, and our money card comes on the turn. We now have trip kings. I check back once again to try to induce a bluff or a bet with an ace here, and our opponent bets 81. They only have 277 left in their stack. We are going to try to get that in before showdown. So I decided to just put in a raise here. I make it 200 to go, and we get a fold from HBB23. Pick up a pretty good sized pot right there. A couple hands later, we have ace queen offsuit on the button. We have 2 limps ahead of us, so we are going to be putting in a raise here to try to isolate some of these players. Bet is 130. We now have 24 minutes remaining in the tournament. We get a call from under the gun, and the flop is queen high. We have top pair, top kicker. Our opponent has 610 chips left in their stack, and I put in a continuation bet of 121, and we get a quick call from our opponent. They now have 489 left. There's 592 in the pot. We are essentially pot committed here, and we don't want to let a draw get there for cheap, so we put in a bet of 271, which would be most of this player's stack. They'd make a call. They have 218 left into a pot of 1134, and they jam on the river. Never going to be getting rid of this hand. Make the call. We were up against a king jack. Had a pretty decent draw on the river, but couldn't get there, and we take down that pot, eliminating 1 player from the tournament. Next hand we're looking at is ace 10 suited of diamonds. Put in a min raise open from under the gun, and we get a call from the small blind. See a flop of queen high two-tone. There's 2 clubs on the board. We have a gut shot once again and an ace over the board. Going to be putting in a continuation bet here. Make it a little bit larger than half pot. 86 is the bet, and we get a call. The turn is the ace, improving our hand. Now we have some showdown value, so so I decided to just check back on the turn. And we hit 2 pair on the river. Our opponent checks, and I decided to just check. I think we could have gone for some thin value there, but I'm not going to argue with my decision there to check either. Seems like a decent play. That was a close one. And now we're opening Queen Jack offsuit on the button. Make it a little bit larger than 2x, and we pick up the blinds and antes. Now we're looking at pocket 7s in the small blind. There is now 12 minutes remaining in the tournament. We are at the 25 cent, 50 cent blind level, which means that we have about 40 big blinds in our stack. Put in an open raise to 250, and we get a call from the big blind. Flop is 6 high, monotone, all clubs. We have a gut shot to a 5 and the 7s over the board. Our opponent puts in a very small bet, about 1/5 the pot, and we wind up hitting our straight on the turn with a 5. There's 764 in the pot. I just check back on the turn. Our opponent checks back as well, and we are putting in a value bet here on the river. Make it 382 to go. Our opponent makes a quick call, and we take down that pot of 1,528 chips, adding to our chip stack, which is now up to a little bit less than 3,000. And there's 6 minutes remaining in the tournament. We are currently sitting 3 of 11. We have Queen Jack offsuit on the button. Put in an open raise of 120, a little bit less than 2.5x. Flop is 10 high, 2 4s on the board. Our opponent has folded 100% to flop bet, so I put in a continuation bet and take that one down. We are now 2 of 11 in the tournament with 6 minutes remaining. Click the auto fold for the King 7 offsuit, and now we have less than a minute left. Looks like I folded a couple hands, nothing really happening, and we are currently not being dealt in with 28-14 in our stack, and we are not being dealt in once again because we must have just been moved tables. Still less than a minute left. Looks like this might be the end of the tournament, and that is it. We have taken 5th place, turned our $10 into 28-14. Not bad for a 52-minute session. That was fun. That was interesting. Next time we'll have to try it with the cage, which is a 100 times larger tournament. I believe the cage lasts 4 hours opposed to only a less than 1 hour tournament here. But that's a good warm-up. Good to learn the structure. If you guys want to check out these tournaments, the schedule is linked down below for America's Cardroom. Head down to the video description, click the link for America's Cardroom, click on the promo tab, and this is the Playpen tournament. If you have not clicked the subscribe button yet, do that now. We have a lot of great videos coming out, including some more final tables. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you've played the Playpen before, you enjoy this content, or you enjoy this channel. I will be back with a new video very soon, but until then, I will see you guys out on the virtual felt.